Well, hi, everybody. Todd Nash, Senate District 29, and we are rolling along here. Here in the first part of April. Today, I'm recording this on Wednesday, April 9th, and this is the last day for some of those bills to live and die in the first chamber. And so the first chamber would be either if they started in the House or they started in the Senate. This deadline, if they haven't had a work session by the end of the day today, they are ostensibly dead, except if they're in one of a few committees. If they're in any of the joint committees, so Joint Committee on Transportation, for example, if they're in Finance and Revenue, they're still alive, or if they're in Rules, those bills are still alive. And we had one today that's going to get kicked over to the Rules Committee, and that is Senate Bill 1034. That's that bill that started in Umatilla County. That was the FSEC siting, the Energy Facility Siting Council. They overreached a little bit in Umatilla County, and they ran over their local land use, and they cited some windmills within the buffer that Umatilla County had identified as being within that 2-mile setback. And I think, and a lot of us think, that those local land use decisions are precious, need to be maintained, and we certainly wanted to prop that up. And so that effort there out of that bill, I thought that we were possibly going to get a work session and get that moved out. There wasn't a will to do that today. So we are going to get some of the stakeholders together over the next few weeks, have some discussions about some of the concerns that those energy companies have with this bill. We're going to have stakeholders that are going to be on our side of those local governments and what it means to them to have some of those authorities maintained. And we're going to see if we can work that out. I'm really hopeful that we'll be able to do that. That's a really important bill, and it's generated a lot of discussion down here. HGR 30, we had what I thought was a really good discussion within the chambers. I talked about a little bit last week. That's the initiative petition process that takes place. There was a lot of confusion over that. I had people that were from rural Oregon talking about if this went through, that the only way that you'd be able to get an initiative petition, all of that signed, get something on the ballot measure, was to go through Portland, and that's kind of the way it is now. This was an effort to deter some of those outside forces from coming in, making it so easy for them to get a ballot measure up. We constantly worry about those ballot measures that come down the pike. There's some of them that are really damaging over time. We've seen some horrific ones that have come to do damage to agriculture. And I heard today that the initiative petition and the efforts to get on the ballot measure right now, IP 28, Initiative Petition 28, and they're going to start gathering signatures for that. And it would do away with animal agriculture in Oregon. You know, if you get that worded right on a ballot, you get our Attorney General to write that up and make it look as if it's an animal husbandry program and a high ethics for the way that we treat animals in Oregon. There's a possibility that passes in this state. We've seen other things that have passed out in this state. Measure 110 was a great example where that looked like it was a drug treatment rather than decriminalizing some of the hardest drugs known to man. And what a train wreck that ended up to be, and all the fentanyl deaths that can be attributed to a really bad policy that came by way of an initiative petition and then a badly worded ballot measure. That's what we're trying to avoid here, folks. And the confusion that's out there about what we're trying to do was kind of disheartening. But I don't think that we're going to be able to move SJR 30 forward. Not for my fault, but the chair listening to both sides kind of go back and forth. We had really good support for it, but we had some confusion. We have the companion bill on the House side, HJR 11, that is identified the same way. It's had a hearing, has not had a work session. Um, it's still alive. Both of these bills are still alive in the Rules Committee. The chance of them passing is looking slimmer every day, and that's super disappointing. We did pass a big hurdle with being able to get our lumber grading across the line this week. That's a huge relief. We did a ton of work on that. Ended up to be a lot more work than what we ever anticipated for what I thought was going to be an easy bill. But we had a lot of pushback from a lot of places and some agencies that just weren't interested in helping us out too. I still think that we are a government of the people, by the people, for the people. Some of these agencies thinks that they called all the shots. Some of the lobby thinks they call all the shots. And I tend to think that the elected officials that you put down here are supposed to be running the show. It's not always that way. When you push back a little bit, you get bit. And we got bit a few times. We bit back, and we ended up getting that. I think that we're going to see that bill pass. It goes to the Joint Ways and Means Committee, and it has a fiscal attached to it because it's going to cost a little bit to get that through. OSU Extension put a fiscal on there because it's in their department. And even though they have people hired, this would require flying somebody out from Tennessee who's put these programs on before. And so legitimately they put a fiscal on there, and it was quite a little bit. It got calculated wrong, and they doubled the fiscal on it, so it looked even more atrocious. Hopefully it's down to a level where I think it's around $70,000. Hopefully that's going to be at a level where we can get that passed through Ways and Means. It shouldn't cost hardly anything, but that's part of where we're at. But anyway, enough about that. We had success this morning with a couple of bills passing out of committee that have to do with agricultural education. And one of them has to do with recognizing that agriculture and the natural resource could also have those dual credit applications for students going into college, so that they could have those recognized the same as some of the other things that are accepted by our higher education institutions. And so we're excited about that. Jake Pelroy again has done all the legwork on those. Chief of Staff, congratulations to Jake on getting that across the line. Second one is 785. It's similar, but it directs money toward those individuals that are in college. They're trying to wrap up their agricultural education degrees, and this is to help assist them, direct them in those ways to encourage more ag education teachers. So that we need to keep coming down the pike. Ways and Means, the Ways and Means Roadshow is going to be in La Grande on Friday, and we look forward to that. It'll be from 5 to 7, be at the university there. And so we look forward to having a really healthy turnout there. If you have bills that have fiscals attached to them, the Ways and Means folks, they want to hear from those people that live in the communities what they're thinking. Um, if you have just a capital construction ask, this is a good time to bring that up. Um, I'm going to be out there for that and look forward to seeing you there. I'm going to spend a little bit of time back in Wallowa County the rest of the weekend. And so hopefully I'll see some of you around there too. Um, with that, we're now kind of transitioning here with some of the things that we've been working on, and with this deadline, our gears are going to change a little bit. We're going to have to pursue the bills that we've passed earlier and we've talked about extensively that are going over to the House side. Make sure that they make it through the House side. Make sure the bills that have fiscals attached to them make it through Ways and Means. It's going to be a little bit of a change of pace. There's some bills that are really problematic that we're going to have to work on. And I've been placed on the Water Caucus as one of the co-chairs in the Water Caucus on the Senate side. We have Senate Bill 1153 and 1154, both governor's bills. And these bills, the first one, 1153, has to do with water transfers, has a lot of really challenging things in there that industry and farmers and ranchers are really concerned about. The nursery industry has highlighted a lot of things. We're going to have to go through that step by step and pick apart what are the things that are really problematic, try to eliminate them, and then look at those things that may have benefit and modernizing those transfers and language therein that could be better than what it is now. 1154 has to do with water quality, and there's some real troubling things in there as well. We're just going to have to go through those things systematically. I did express my concern yesterday in committee passing 1154 going out to rules, in that there were some good things in there. We all want clean water. Water quality is highly important to us, whether you're in Oregon or anywhere else. And to be able to clean up some of our aquifers, to be able to make sure that we're not further contaminating, it is really important that we get that accomplished. But at the same time, we don't want to do damage either. And some of the things that are in there right now are damaging. So I look forward to working on those. Have a little bit more time. They tell me that it's going to be a slower pace going forward. I hope it is, and I hope that we can really do justice to some of these things that are troubling in these highly impactful bills. And if we can't get there, then they just need to go away for a while until we can work on them. With that, folks, I'm said enough for this week. Look forward to seeing you all. Thank you, all of you who continue to support me. Send me emails, letters of encouragement, prayers is so appreciated and so welcomed and so needed down here. And we will talk to you soon. Goodbye.